In order to operate multiple vehicles, we run multiple VSMs, or vehicle-specific modules. In this case, what you'll see is that we'll be running a Arion VSM for the Arion Scout air vehicle. That's a micro-air vehicle quad rotor, as well as a Roomba VSM for the iRobot Create hobbyist ground vehicle. If these VSMs were to be run with a control station, 4586 control station that was not the force control station from InnUVative Systems, then you would use these application interfaces to access the capabilities such as obstacle dialogues for the Roomba that do not map to the core message set for 4586. However, because it's being run with the force control station, we actually have a much nicer, tightly integrated solution to accessing these capabilities, so the applications will actually run in the background. So the first thing we will do is we will connect to the vehicles that we wish. In this case, we have the Arion and Arion camera, Roomba, and Roomba camera. We won't bother connecting to the Roomba camera because in this instance it's actually just simulated. Internal to the control station, so it doesn't really prove anything in this case. So we'll connect to the Arion vehicle first. And now we'll connect, actually we'll go to the vehicle, center on the vehicle because it does start up in a different location. We'll connect to the Arion camera, and you'll see the payload come up, indicating that we've connected. And in here I will now select it and right click, and this is where I access down here the vehicle specific dialogues we talked about earlier that would be accessed through the VSM application interface in another control station. However, because we are obviously writing both the VSM and the control station, we have a tightly integrated solution which allows it to be accessed directly through the icon themselves. So we're also going to connect to the Roomba vehicle here. The Roomba right now is communicating over a Bluetooth network connection, and we see the Roomba come up, and you've also seen some warnings from the Roomba come up. So we'll declutter our warning panel a little bit and get rid of some of the things that we know we're not worried about. The fact that Roomba's not charging isn't a big deal. GPS lock, magnetic field warning, not particularly important. Battery remaining, this is useful to have up. It will update as the battery depletes. It'll go from 7 to 6 to 5, etc. So we'll actually have a little bit of a readout here that may be useful. So we will zoom in on these two vehicles to give us a bit more resolution, and let's launch the air vehicle using our wizard, which is covered under some other videos. Go into waypoint mode and then launch it. So it starts to gain some altitude. Back into waypoint mode, and we'll set the altitude high. So we've now got the vehicle, the air vehicle being launched. I'll give it a waypoint over here on the map so that it doesn't go too far away from us. I can go up here on the Roomba dialog, and what you'll see is when I select this and right click, you see a whole bunch of different dialogues available, and these reflect the capabilities of the Roomba, which doesn't map to that 4586 message set. Much like down here when I select the Arion Scout, you see only 2 of them here because the only thing that didn't map to the 4586 message set was the idea of having a built-in simulator. So up here, to control the Roomba, what we actually do is we can grab this lollipop control icon. This is the same as a diagram dropped into Word, where there's a lollipop that you can grab and twist to make the diagram rotate. What we've done is we've added an ability to use this to stretch out the lollipop to command a speed. And what this allows us to do then is to very quickly and easily change direction on a ground vehicle and the speed that it's traveling at, and go back and forth between a ground vehicle, for instance, and an air vehicle. So I can change what I'm centering on to make it easier to control if I wish, and go straight back to the other one. So right now the air vehicle is in waypoint control, so I can drop one here and then go back up, and I can select the Roomba and I can get it traveling in a different direction. So on the with the air vehicle, of course, there's a similar control capability in that I can go in and choose a vehicle specific 50 as it's called for this vehicle, and this actually gives me the same kind of lollipop control for the air vehicle. So now I can go in here and tell it to fly in a particular direction at a particular speed, and I can move it up towards the Roomba. But what this demonstrates is that we've got a domain agnostic control solution for both an air vehicle and a ground vehicle. And so when training an operator to switch back and forth between the air and ground vehicles, it's actually not difficult for us to have them go back and forth. They're not going through any mental gymnastics to understand how to control a ground vehicle, vice an air vehicle, or anything like that. And of course, likewise on the payload control, I'm simply selecting and dragging and clicking. Obviously, I may wish to have my video window up. When I've got multiple vehicles, in fact, the way in which this will operate is that the video window we will be able to pull up whichever one is selected. So this video window will be displayed as a postage stamp down at the bottom here, much the same as you see on Windows now, where Skype is operating, and you can put your window, your mouse cursor over top of the Skype symbol and see the actual video. So you can actually very quickly switch back and forth between the videos, as well as obviously to control them from the video whenever you have it up and available. Right. So an example here, we can load a video file just so it looks a little bit more representative. And what's being demonstrated effectively is an ability simply to very quickly, with a single click, move back and forth between control of one vehicle to another vehicle to a payload, all easily executed from one single screen, suitable to an operator on the move, without a lot of training or risk of problems. What you've seen on the status panel is that we have one place for all of the information to show up. So you can see that we've got information from the Aireon telling us it's airborne. We've got the modes being reported by Roomba. We've got the battery being reported by Roomba. So there's still only one place to look for all of my warnings. Now my ability to park these various warnings when I know that they're not all that important is useful. So I can actually move these back and forth, and I can declutter my main display. So we'll see that our battery is actually running out on Roomba, so it's sending some sporadic messages now because of its low power.